Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is Not a Pro Gardener here, and today we're going to be talking about our in-ground garden, the cucurbit plot to be specific. Now, what is your options whenever you want to overwinter a garden plot? I know I'm going to be gardening in this one next year, so what are my options? Like, what should you be doing with these things, and how to dispose of them, stuff like that. Just what do you do to overwinter your garden plot? We're going to talk about what we do and give you the options that we have readily available. We didn't have enough time in our growing season to put another crop or seed start something else to put in here. We could have if we planned for it, but we got what we needed out of this garden plot. Now we want to give back to the soil that we have, and instead of adding to the weed seed bank, we want a more proactive option and lowering our weed seed bank. So one of the options we have is to let it grow up. Like, we could let all the weeds and grass grow up in here and deal with it next year, which is what most people do. But I'm here to tell you there is better ways. Some of the cons to just letting it grow up is you got all this vegetation for insects and insect eggs and some diseases and stuff like that to overwinter in your soil or in the vegetation or the stalks of these dead plants like we got behind us here. They can, if you do not have a heavy winter, if you have a mild winter, it could be possible for some of these things to overwinter in your garden. And then next year's garden comes around and you're wondering why I have all this weed pressure, why do I have all this extra bug pressure this year, it's really heavy. That could be some of the issues that people have, is that they overwintered your problems from last year. Another problem that you have if you just let it grow up in weeds is when those weeds get old enough, they start to seed out and they just drop the seeds wherever they're at, and that adds to your weed seed bank a lot, and that just causes you more problems next year. And you don't want to do that. You want to be as proactive as possible. If you know you're going to be gardening in a spot multiple times, you kind of want to find a happy medium of where you want to be at. Instead of making more problems next year, you could do something before next year to alleviate some of those problems for the year after. So letting it grow up is not an option for us. We do not want to do that, and if other people want to do that, that is completely up to them. So what other options do we have? Well, we actually have made the investment and purchased tarps. I've also got used tarps from like lumber yards, stuff like that, because they're smaller and you can use them in smaller applications, but they do block out the sunlight, the ones that I have, and that is what the tarps are supposed to do. You put them on your plot, stake them down, weight them down, whatever you want to do, and it's a process called occultation. Blocks the sunlight so the weeds can't grow, which is what you want, and that'll lower your weed seed bank over time. Now, one of the downsides to getting a tarp is the price usually, but if you can find somewhere to get something that is free, that is always a big help. Like I said, the lumberyard tarps, those usually are not very expensive, or they are given to you by request. Your good soil insects like your worms and such, they like that moist, dark environment, so it helps them to help break down whatever you got going on under there. So that's good as well. But there is a third option that we have, which is called cover cropping. And cover crops, they have many, many benefits, and I can't talk about them all on this video. I'm hoping to do it on another video one day. What we got left to do is we're going to go in here and we are going to tear up all this stuff and get it cleaned up and try to get it ready to be overwintered. So let's go ahead and get this all tore out and see how it goes. right, everybody, as you can see, we got all this pretty well taken care of. There's quite a bit more weed pressure in your new garden situations, but we got her did. So now, let's just kind of reiterate a little bit. Letting it grow up, it adds to your weed seed bank and can harbor pests, insects, since the eggs of the insects, and maybe even some diseases in your soil. But if you take care of it, and get it out of there and tarp it or cover crop it, it will help lower your weed seed bank, could possibly add some food for the plants next year and organic matter to hold water, or you could just tarp it and you could cover up the weeds and it will kill them by blocking out your sunlight and help the other seeds in the top little couple inches germinate and lower your weed seed bank as well. One of these options we're going to do, but not today. We're going to cut this video short. There's just too much going on right now. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time out here in the garden. See you again.